Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Starflames, and we are back with another video. Shall we call it 50 Cent's District Constable, because everything now involves 50 Cent. All the court cases, all the social media topics, debates, trending discussions. 50 is chief, okay? I think that is it. 50 is chief. No, what am I talking about? Well, if you guys had remember, Mr. Fat Joe, he was hit with a lawsuit by his former hype man. So this former hype man his name is Terrance Dixon. This hype man of Fat Joe, he has been going after Fat Joe for years. When I tell you years, he keeps suing Fat Joe. And then in April, Fat Joe is like, you know what? I'm gonna have to stop you with this. And as such, Fat Joe hit back at him with a defamation lawsuit, because what Terrance has been doing over the years is accusing Fat Joe of various different little things. However, most recently, he filed a lawsuit, a multi-million dollar lawsuit, and he basically said that Fat Joe was guilty of trafficking minors for the purpose of intimacy. Now, it takes anyone with a functioning brain to know that this man is telling the world that he witnessed Fat Joe committing crimes and not do anything. And then if we're being logical, based on the time that he said that these things happened, I'm not saying that it is impossible for Fat Joe to traffic minors for intimacy, because if you know the culture of, the entertainment industry, and even outside the entertainment industry, if you know about slavery and how, slaves were treated and black people were treated. So the moment you start having a period, you are sent to a man. That man could be 40 years old. And if that man was known to be fertile and get women pregnant easily, the moment you start having your period, if you're 10, 9, 11, you would be sent to that man for him to impregnate you, so that they could, you were part of the slave breeding plantation. So that part has been a long practice since slavery. And then after slavery ended, only very few people stumbled that horrible practice. So they carried on that practice throughout the years. If you look at many of the people around you, like your grandparents, they could have been a part of that. I remember working in the corporate world, and I remember a friend of mine said to me that her grandmother was like 60 days late for her wedding at the age of 14 years old. So it has been a long-standing practice for older men to be obsessed with younger girls. And it is so strong even in the music in Jamaica, because we have songs where entertainers are saying, they love their 2-year old, and the two is significant, not meaning that the child has to be at the age of 2. It is significant saying they love them as young and as tender as they can get them. And even now it is still there's still a strong presence of older men hunting these younger girls, especially like taxi operators, businessmen. So it is like an embedded practice in a lot of people. And it's not just in the black community. It exists in other communities. But for some reason, there's a strong presence of it. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. There's a strong presence of black men, Latinos, and all those men thinking that being with younger girls, it's okay. Even in India, it's a thing today, like older men, 37 years old, will be marrying a 14-year-old. Um, and it is the norm, it's a practice, it's not against the law. So with Terrance saying that Fat Joe had, intimacy with younger girls, I'm not saying that he's telling a lie. But what makes the rest of the story not connecting is the fact that how he is detailing it to had happened. Because for Fat Joe to pull off such a successful scheme, and Terrance is telling us that he watched this man committing crimes years upon years. How can you watch someone commit a crime for years and then wanting to put that you witnessed that man committing crime for years, not knowing that you're an accessory to crimes being committed against minor? He's telling us that he knows of this, which means that he played a part in it. And how he said that, Fat Joe trafficked these minors, it's not making any sense because there would have to be other adults involved. Because if you're, taking them from one country to the next, you're telling us that the parent sold these kids, and who were they going to in the United States? Like, who was the receiving adult? Because that's how it works. You have to have a consenting adult on one end and a receiving adult on the other end. So as such, the little fractures in his story is making it not make sense. And the mere fact that he keeps coming after Fat Joe over the years with different claims it gives the sense that something else is going on with Terrance Dixon. Now, as it relates to him claiming that he did not get paid for, music that he has worked on, that happens a lot. So we can't dismiss that in its entirety. But one thing we know about Fat Joe is that Fat Joe has a history of properly compensating people. He is never known to be faulty when it comes to those things. And normally, because he even works with a lot of Jamaican artists, and normally, if you point out something to him where he has gone wrong in a deal, what he'll do is to try his best to negotiate and fix it. Fat Joe is known to be like an excellent negotiator, even when people are not getting along and even when people are not properly compensated. He's the one that is normally known to step in, negotiate, and get the compensation settled. Now, as such, a lot of people are coming out to his defense, which is rather unusual because when people in the industry comes out to defend an individual so strongly, you know that, there's a huge disconnect. Now, one individual who is coming out to defend Fat Joe is 50 Cent. 50 Cent is an individual who doesn't defend celebrities whenever there are allegations of these types against them. Now, specifically, Terrance Dixon had said Fat Joe had basically put out a hit on 50 Cent. He wanted to delete 50 Cent and offered a bounty on 50 Cent's life. And 50 Cent is saying these accusations are baseless. It never happened. It's not true. And if there was even a shred of evidence for this to be true, 50 Cent would say it's a lie. Fat Joe is not known to this kind of violent person. Not saying that he's a punk or anything, but I can tell you that Fat Joe has like a street history here in Jamaica, and his street, record and credit is very clean, rather usually clean. And this is not something that is known among most artists. Fat Joe is one of those people who stands out when it comes to artists. He's one who is known to be the cream of the crop, one of the better ones. That's the um, track record that he has. But this man, Terrance Dixon, I don't know. I think something might be wrong with it because, like, the way in which he comes with these lawsuits, and how they are often just so messy and not put together. And if you're looking at the details, there's so many inconsistencies in his claims. You just know that these are a, lie. Now, at present, 50 Cent is making it known that um, Fat Joe taking out a hit on him is not true. Now, according to TMZ, they're saying 50 Cent's calling BS on the claim that Fat Joe wanted him dead back in the day, showing love for his fellow New Yorker in a recent social media post. The rapper took to Instagram to address claims made about Joe in a lawsuit earlier this week, where the plaintiff Terrance Dixon accused him of allegedly offering a bounty on 50's life. So they include a post. 50 Cent says, "These baseless accusations and claims are not credible. I'm sorry Joe has to endure the public scrutiny and damage to his reputation. This is a stick up. I wrote this hook. I should have kept this one." 50 Cent is still gonna be funny in all of it. So when you hear 50 Cent coming out and sticking up for someone like this, you must know that they're extra clean. Now, Dixon also, according to the report, they're saying Dixon also alleged that Fat Joe ordered a hit to go down in New York City, but 50 was surrounded by Navy SEALs type security, so he was never attacked. 50's shutting down the rumors in its tracks, writing on Instagram that the claims about Fat Joe are not credible. He goes on, "I'm sorry Joe has to endure public scrutiny and damage to his reputation. This is a stick up. I wrote this hook. I should have kept this one." Joe responded with some appreciation for the support, throwing a 100 emoji in the comment section. Worth noting, Dixon claims about Fat Joe and 50 Cent are included in the same lawsuit filed by Dixon and his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, we told you about earlier this week, where he was accused of having sex with underage girls. I'm telling you, this is so horrible. Now, Fat Joe's attorney, Joe Tacopina, told us the lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation for a civil suit Fat Joe filed against Dixon. Tacopina adds the accusations are lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. And law enforcement is aware of alleged extortionate demands Tacopina says Dixon has made off Fat Joe. Like 50's not buying Dixon's story either, showing he's firmly in Fat Joe's corner. So, yeah, 50 is definitely in his corner, and this is something that is very rare of 50. And when you see 50 go out on a limb to say, these things are horrible, it should not be happening, and he's sorry that Fat Joe has to be enduring these things, you know that it is a darn lie. Now, even when you look at some of the lawsuits that were filed against Diddy and how 50 Cent was laughing at some of those lawsuits, you could tell that 50 Cent is unbiased when it comes to these type of things. Because there were lawsuits that were filed against Diddy where he was like, yeah, this sound like it happened. And there were some of them where he was like, oh no, this is too far-fetched. Definitely did not happen. So kudos to 50 for speaking up and speaking out on the behalf of Fat Joe. Many people think that because many of these people are celebrities, being a celebrity automatically makes them guilty when that is not the case and really does not make any sense. Fat Joe throughout history has proven to be a cut above the rest, but I do believe there could have been some kind of intimacy because it's not impossible. It could have happened, but it's just that the disconnect of the allegations is so strong that it makes it something that you want to just throw out completely because minors cannot travel from one country to the next without a sponsor and without parent guardian being in agreement. So who agreed on what? Whose parents signed off on what? And who accepted the child? So there would have to be some more information included in order to make it plausible. It's not plausible at this point. But if he includes some more names as adults who made the transaction possible, at that point we can say, yes, this seems more credible. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I hope that the truth comes to light and this Dixon guy is just held accountable for the consistent mess that he has been putting Fat Joe through. But that's all I have to share about that for this video. Let me know what's your take. And while you're at it, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Do all you need to do in this video to support your girl. Peace.